Hi friends, welcome to Story Time. I am so excited to share this really cool book with you today. There is a foundation called the National Science Teachers Association, and it's all the science teachers in the United States. And you know what they do? They come together and they pick the best books related to science each year. And a number of years ago, this one was on the list, and I have enjoyed reading it with so many kids that I wanted to read it with you today. It is called Papa's Mechanical Fish. Can you see Papa? Papa is inside what looks like a submarine, and what I love about this book is I love how Papa has perseverance. Have you heard that word before? Perseverance means he is not going to give up. And so I want you to pay attention and watch Papa's perseverance through this book. So this is Papa's Mechanical Fish by Candace Fleming. This is my Papa. And this is his backyard workshop where he spends his days thinking, tinkering, and inventing things. Hear that? Clink, clankety bang, thump, whir. That's the sound of Papa at work. Clink, clankety bang, thump, whir. Can you tell by these pictures, does this book take place today or does it take place long ago? It takes place long ago. You can kind of guess by how she's dressed, and I think you'll notice the clothes in the other pictures that it takes place long ago. Sometimes Papa tries inventing helpful things like collapsible coat hangers that are easy to store. Sometimes he tries inventing unusual things like edible socks. Would you want to eat your socks? And sometimes he tries inventing playful things that just don't work, like steam-powered roller skates. He forgot to put the brakes on. But not once has Papa invented anything that works perfectly. I will someday, Papa tells me. All I need is a fantastic idea. But fantastic ideas are not easy to come by. So Papa twiddles his tools and pulls his hair. He racks his brain, sighs and stares, until one day he throws down his screwdriver. Enough thinking, he cries. Who wants to go fishing? I do, I holler. Me too, says my brother Cyril. Don't forget me, adds our sister Mary. My dada, squeals the baby Wilhelmina. Woof, barks the bulldog Rex. I'm so glad I brought along these poles, says Mama. So sometimes when we work so hard at something and it's not going well, sometimes it's nice to just take a break, and then when we go back to it, we do an even better job. But listen what happens. We all troop out to the lighthouse pier and drop our lines into Lake Michigan. Plop, 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 plop. Papa, I say as we wait for a bite, have you ever wondered what it's like to be a fish? A fish, he mutters. A fish. Uh-oh, squeals the baby. Papa's pole clatters to the pier. He leaps to his feet. He whirls me around. Verena, you're brilliant, he whoops. Then he is gone, racing back over the sand dunes to his workshop. What do you think he's thinking? Clink, clankety-bang, thump, whir. Ta-da, cries Papa a few weeks later. He opens his workshop doors to reveal. What is it, I ask? It's an underwater vessel, he explains. A mechanical fish. I will dive like a salmon, I will glide like a trout. Papa's mechanical fish is so small he barely fits inside. It has a tube sticking out the top so he can breathe. It has a pole sticking out the bottom so he can push himself along the lake floor. I call it whitefish, he says. But will it work? Can you see Papa inside? Let's see what happens. We keep our fingers crossed. Goodbye, Papa, we wave. Farewell, family, he waves back. Then the whitefish is launched. Sploosh. Look at Papa. Glub, glub, glub. Papa swims back to the pier. It almost worked, he says. You see the dog's face? The dog isn't very hopeful. Almost, I agree. I think for a minute, then ask, Papa, how do fish move through the water? With their tails, says Cyril. With their fins, adds Mary. Fishy go, squeals the baby. Woof, barks Rex. I'm so glad I brought along this towel, says Mama. She wraps it around Papa's shoulders, but he is too deep in thought to notice. Clink, clankety bang, thump, whir, behold the whitefish 2. It is big enough for 2 people to sit in. It has a wooden fin on top and a wooden propeller in back. Papa pedals it like a bicycle to make it go. Goodbye, Papa, we wave. Farewell, family, he waves back. Then the whitefish 2 is launched. Sploosh. It dives below the surface. Swoosh. But do you think it's gonna work? Crack, drip, splinter, rip. Papa bobs to the surface. It almost worked, he hollers to us. Do you see how he's sitting on a fish? Almost, I holler back. I think again, then ask, Papa, how do fish stay dry? With special skin, asks Cyril. With scales, asks Mary. No peep, squeals the baby. Woof, barks Rex. I'm so glad I brought along this life preserver, says Mama. She tosses it to Papa, but he is too deep in thought to notice. Now, I think many people in Papa's shoes would be like, forget it. I can't figure it out. I don't know. But what does he do? He perseveres. Remember we were talking about perseverance? Papa perseveres, and let's find out what happens. Clink, clankety bang, thump, whir, behold the whitefish 3. It is big enough for 3 people to sit in. It has a plunger to make it go up and down. It has a steering wheel to make it go left and right. It has levers instead of pedals, and it is covered in waterproof copper. Goodbye, Papa, we wave. Farewell, family, he waves back. Then the whitefish 3 is launched. Sploosh. It dives. Swoosh. It chugs beneath the waves. Clackada, clackada, clackada. But do you think it's gonna work this time? Oh boy, look at Papa. Crump. Papa clings to a buoy. It almost works, he says minutes later as we pull him into the rowboat. Almost, I say. I think some more. Then I ask, Papa, how do fish know where they're going? Can they see underwater, asks Cyril. Do they have good eyes, adds Mary. Peekaboo, squeals the baby. Woof, barks Rex. I'm so glad I brought along these oars, said Mama. She rows toward shore, but Papa is too deep in thought to notice. He can't stop thinking, can he? He is determined. Now he barricades himself in his workshop. Clink, clankety bang, thump, whir. He does not come out. Thunk, clunk, whack. We cannot go in. Tap, tap. He even covers the windows so we can't peek. Zap. What's the big secret, I ask. Wait and see, Papa says. Just wait and see. Clink, clankety bang, thump, whir. At last he flings wide the workshop doors. Surprise! Ooh, we gasp. Ah, what do you think it is? Look at this. What would you do if your dad or mom invented something that looked like this? The Whitefish 4 is big enough for 7 people to sit in. It has an air cooling system, an air compression system, an air purifying system. It has a steam boiler to run the engine and a battery to run the headlights. It has velvet carpeting and comfortable chairs. Along its length are a dozen portholes. Papa grins. Who wants to go for a ride? I do, I whoop. Me too, says Cyril. Don't forget me, says Mary. Go bye-bye, squeals the baby. Woof, barks Rex. I'm so glad I brought along lunch, says Mama. Mama is very patient with Papa, isn't she? This book has been well loved, can you see? One by one, we drop down through the hatch. Then Papa seals it behind us, takes his place at the controls, and sploosh, swoosh, clackada, clackada, clackada. Wow, look how cool that is. Would you get in? Do you think you would get in? Hours later, we rise to the surface. We glide to the beach. We spread out a blanket and feast on ham sandwiches. Papa, I say in between mouthfuls, that idea was absolutely, positively fantastic. Brilliant, says Cyril. Clever, adds Mary. Yeah, squeals the baby. Woof, barks Rex. I'm so glad you brought me along, says Mama. She gives Papa a big, big smooch. Then a seagull flies over. I toss it my bread crust. Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a bird, I ask. Uh-oh. A bird, Papa mutters. A bird? Uh-oh, squeals the baby. What's Papa gonna think about now? Clink, clank, clankety bang, thump, whir. So if you ever get this book, in the back, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but in the back it talks about how this book is fictional. So it's not a true story, but it's based on true events. And what was Papa trying to invent? He was trying to invent a submarine. And so even though we have submarines now, this happened a long time ago, and he got the idea and wanted to figure out how could he be underwater like a fish and see. Now we have very advanced and really cool submarines. But Papa persevered. And so if there's something you really want to do, something you really want to invent, I suggest you persevere. So it was so good to see you today, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Have a good week.